सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः। अहम डॉक्टर प्रवेश व्यास। I am Dr. Pravesh Vyas, Assistant Professor in Department of Vastu Shastra, Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri National Sanskrit University, New Delhi. Today, we are going to learn about Introduction to Medical Astrology. First of all, there is a term named astrology, Jyotish Shastra. So before knowing medical astrology, we need to know about astrology. What is Jyotish Shastra? Jyotish क्या है? In astrology, it said, Jyotisham Suryadi Grahanam Bodhakam Shastram. Astrology is a science. We can't actually translate Jyotish as astrology, but we should use Jyotish as a Jyotish only, not as astrology, because astrology is just a part of Jyotish Shastra. Astronomy is also included there, and many other sciences are included in Jyotish Shastra. So, a science which is related to motion of the planets, calculation of the motion of the planets, and effects of the planets. Not only the planets, but the whole universe. How whole universe is affecting a human body, human being, not only a human being, but the life itself. So basically, this Jyotish Shastra was divided into three parts: Siddhanta, Samhita, and Hora. And the main goal or motto of Jyotish Shastra was Ishtaprapti Anishtas Pariharaha. Isht, which is good for you, which is beneficial for you, that should be given to the human being. And Anishta Parihara, anything which is not beneficial, anything which is harmful, that should be destroyed, that should be taken apart from the human body or mankind. So this was the main motto, main goal of the Vedas. In our traditional system, we used to say that the first thing ancient rishis, seers.
Pravesh, can you just keep the mic near? It is slightly, not so clear voice.
And those Vedas are not created by any single person. A bunch of extraordinary people, knowledgeable people, created the Vedas. Every mantra of the Vedas have a particular rishi, particular chandas, particular vinyoga devata. So whatever they saw in their samadhi state, after yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, whatever they saw in this universe, that they compiled in a form of a mantra. And the collection of the mantra is called Vedas. And those Vedas have 6 parts: Siksha, Kalp, Chanda, Vyakaran, Jyotish, Niruktam. And they considered the Vedas like a human body, and Jyotish Shastra was given the I part of the Veda Purusha. Because eyes are very important in human body. And eyes sees everything. It gives a pratyaksha, pramana to you. Whatever you see, you believe first. So, as in your body, eyes are important. Same in the Vedangas, Jyotish Shastra is very important. So, as I said, Jyotish Shastra has three parts: Siddhanta, Samhita, and Hora. This Siddhant part is related to purely mathematics. In 11th century, Bhaskaracharya said, Trutyadi pralayanta kala kalana mana praveda kramat charascha dyusadam dvidhacha ganitam prashnas tatha suttaraha. Starting from the very minute Truti measurement of calculating the time. It's considered as the 43rd lakh part of 1 second. If you divide 1 second into 43 lakh parts, it will be equivalent to that. And until the Pralaya Kala Ganna, when everything destroys, so that is the main motto of Siddhanta Skandha. And every mathematics you see in this world was originated from Siddhanta Jyotisha. They wanted to calculate higher numbers. If you had heard somewhere or sometime about four yugas, Kali Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Satyuga, it's considered 4,32,000 years are Kali Yuga. So till the time Europe, Roman people were not knowing how to write 10,000. They were not having digits. Ancient priests were calculating billions and trillions of the numbers, and for that all kind of mathematics was necessary. If you want to calculate planetary position, you need algebra, you need trigonometry, you need numeral, you need numbers, you need all kind of mathematics. You need calculus. And to only calculate the motion of the planets, they discovered all kind of mathematics you are seeing in this world. If you ask in this world that why only 7 days are there, Namo Namah. So if you see in this world, why there are only 12 months? If you see in anywhere in this world, why only 24 hours are there in a day? Why in your watch there are 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a month? Why this 60 seconds, only 60 numbers came from? And why there are only 360 degrees in a circle? You will find these all discoveries are from India. Ancient Indian astronomers, astrologers, mathematicians invented all these things. That is the first part, Siddhanta Jyotisha. Second part is Samhita Jyotisha. Many branches of science were included in Samhita Jyotish, like planetary movement, eclipse, architecture, iconography, disasters management, predictions, horticulture, health, disease, medicine, foods, rings, dresses, ornaments, fauna and flora, jewels, weight measurements, palmistry, many things were included into Samhita Jyotisha. If you want to know the effect of planets upon a huge land, like a state or a nation, a particular area, if you want to know how much rainfall will be there, when any disaster will come, all these things were included into the Samhita Jyotisha. And the third part, which we say astrology, is called Hora Skandha, the third part of Jyotish Shastra. That is Jatak Shastra or Hora Shastra. It is basically related to the prediction of a particular person. If somebody is asking a question related to his life, then particular answer has to be given to that person. So there are many methods. First method is to see his horoscope. That horoscope is made by the time, place, and date of that person. Situation of that person's birth time in the universe decides or indicates many things about his life. And how does this work? First of all, we will know how this astrology works, and then we will come to the medical astrology. So there are many methods of knowing future or predicting or answering some questions like Muhurta, Prashna Shastra, Swapna Shastra. So what is the science behind astrology? We see in Puranas a very beautiful explanation that all planets are lightning with the light of sun, and these planets are reflecting particular nature of the sun, particular light of the sun. Like Shushumna Rasmi is lightning the moon. Vishwakarma Rasmi, Vishwakarma light, a particular part of the sun, sunlight, is lightning the Buddha, Mercury. Vishwavyacha is lightning Venus. Sanyada Vasu is lightning Mars. Arva Vasu is lightning the Brahaspati, Jupiter, and Swarat is lightning to Saturn. So every planet and nakshatra is reflecting a particular light of sun, because sun has Sapta Rashmi. In Vedas, it's written that Surya has different 7 kind of Rashmis is Vidyar. And many of you may be science students, so anything which reflects a particular color or particular light of the sun has a particular quality inside. If Mars is reflecting red color of the sunlight, then something is red already inside the Mars. And these 7 Rashmis, these 7 lights have also Uparashmis, and those Uparashmis are thousands in numbers, and every part of the light of the sun has a particular work, particular nature, particular speciality. how can we know astrology is a science? Recently, few years back, a new branch of astronomy revealed that particular particles are coming from the universe, supernovas, from the stars. Those particles are called as neutrino particles. And every second, just a tip of your finger, 10 billion neutrinos are passing through. And those neutrino particles are coming from the universe. And there is a very special quality of neutrinos that whatever thing comes between the way of the neutrino, those neutrino particles are very tiny, very subtle, that they pass through that object. Like if a particle, if a bunch of neutrino particles are coming from a supernova or a star, and that passes through the Jupiter, but those particles don't stop. They will pass through the Jupiter. Or if a Saturn comes in between neutrino particles' way, neutrino particle will pass through the Saturn. But while passing through that object, those neutrino particles captures spatial qualities, information from that object. And those particles, when they come to the human body, those natures, those informations they are bringing from those particular planets, they give to the human body. And you can see these kind of instruments, observatories, laboratories are being installed underground, and they are calculating how many neutrino particles coming from the universe. Carl Gustav Jung, C.J. Jung, a very famous psychologist, he wrote so much in favor of astrology. He wrote, astrology represents the sum of all the psychological knowledge of antiquity. And the science of astrology soon will enter into the universities. He was very much in the favor of astrology. Like our ancient rishis discovered that the resonance and the particles and the effect coming from the universe very much affects the human body. Same thing was discovered by a doctor, a physician, a very famous alchemist, Paracelsus. In 15th century, he explained whenever the rhythm of the human body and the rhythm of the universe changes, it creates disease into the person. Only when the planetary position becomes, or situation of the planetary position becomes unfamiliar or negative to the person's internal position of the energy, or the he says cosmic music of that particular person, and that disturbance creates the disease. And he also tried to correlate disease and the planetary positions. and he used the horoscope of a particular person to cure him. And he was giving medicine according to the horoscope to particular person, as our ancestors were also doing. Same, Pythagoras also said that every nakshatra creates a particular sound, a particular wavelength, and there is a cosmic music is going on in the universe, and that's why that was called the universal harmony, and that affects the human body. It's also said that in Pythagoras' own diary, he explains, he describes people like Jain Munis. So it is considered that somewhere, some time, he visited India also. There was also a scientist, A.L. Chizevsky. He explained that in a particular time, there are huge bombardment on the sun's surface. And whenever these kind of bombing or bombardment starts on the sun, particular size of dot dark spots increases on the surface of sun. And whenever these kind of sunspots, black spots increase on the sun's surface, human nature also changes. And starting from the 1900 till he was alive, he did research that whenever sunspots increase, many problems are increased on the earth. In few countries, there are riots, there are mass murders, there are revolutions, there are wars, pandemics. So he explained the combination, the relationship between sunspots and the human nature. Also, G.R.G. Giardri in 1950, he did so many research to explain how this whole world, the whole universe is an organic unity, and every change in the universe creates some change on the earth. Like if in your body, if somewhere a sharp particle is cut, the whole body will be feel, the whole body will know the information that somewhere something is problematic in the body. The same, in the same form, the whole universe is a unity. If anything changes in this universe, it affects to the whole universe. The effect of the every particle of the universe knows this. Also, the quantum entanglement theory says if a particular element's particle changes its nature, anywhere in this universe, all the particles will change their nature. Like if in an atom of a particular, like hydrogen or helium, one electron is changing the movement, then all the particle of the hydrogen or helium in this universe will change their movement. This is the theory of quantum entanglement, that every particle is related in this universe. So there are many people like Professor Brown and other researchers explain that how the universe is affecting human and the earth. And among these, a very famous scientist was George Lakhovsky. He wrote a book, The Grand Problem, and he explains that when a child is born, then the bombardment, the cosmic radiations, particles are coming from the universe, affects the chromosome of the cell nuclei of that particular boy or girl or child which is getting birth until he is related to his mother. That human being is related to his mother with its placenta. Till that he is part of that mother. But whenever that placenta is cut from the body, the whole world's cosmoelectronic resonators gives him a vital electricity, and the photograph of this universe affects that child, and that we call a horoscope. So he explained these things, Professor Lakhovsky, how this time of birth is very, very important to a person. In the womb of mother, a child sleeps like this. You can see in this photo that astrologers made this horoscope in this form. The head represents the Aries sign, neck represents the Taurus sign, hands, shoulders related to Gemini sign, heart and chest part is related to Cancer sign, and the stomach related to the Leo sign. So how a planetary position affects a child? And what is horoscope? In Indian philosophy, there are three types of karmas: Sanchit karmas, Prarabdha karmas, and Kriyaman karmas. Every person, every Atman is collecting the effect of its karma from many, many, many births. So that collection of the karma is called a Sanchit karma. Because in Indian philosophy, we used to say, Avashyameva bhaktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. Whatever you have done has to be feel. You need to get the fruit of that karma. And in this life, the part of that karma which you are going to get the fruit is called the Prarabdha karma. In this life, whatever fruit you are going to get of your karma is called Prarabdha karma. And whatever you are doing in this life is called Kriyaman karma. So according to your Sanchit karma, whatever you have done in your past lives, your birth day, birth family, birth place is decided. Because if you have done wrong deeds, wrong karmas, then you will get birth into the malefic position of the planets. Until then, your Atma will be waiting. When that particular planetary position will occur, which will indicate your karmas, then you will get birth. If somebody had done so many good karmas, good deeds are done by him, then his Atman will wait until the very good planetary positions are not coming. And he will get birth in a particular family, particular land, where he will get a very good fruits. So every birth of a child is pre-decided according to its sanchit karmas. Whatever karma he has done, that will decide the time of birth, the planetary position of the child, and that Atma will wait until that planetary position comes. So that is called the horoscope. In horoscope, by seeing the planetary position, by seeing the universal chart, we decide or we see what is going to happen in that person's life, what will be the behavior, what will be the effects in his life, how, what kind of body he will get, what kind of color he will get, what kind of character he will get. Because he decided that time, that Atman decided the particular position. So among these 9 planets, Moon is very important. In the Vedas, it is said Chandrama Manaso Jataha. Moon decides the mental condition of that person, and that's very important in medical astrology. Whenever a child gets birth, 90 to 95% of his body is total liquid form. As we say that our 75% part of body is water, but while a child gets birth, 90% of the part is water. So a very famous scientist in Japan, Masaru Emoto, did some very good research upon the water, and he wrote a very beautiful book, The Hidden Message in Water. He explained whatever you say to the water, whatever emotions you give to the water, whatever you feel nearby the water, water captures everything. Water has memory. If you give gratitude to the water, if you give truth, if you say thanks to water, if you give compassion, the water crystals will change. He freezed that water, took apart on the slide and saw in the electric microscope. He saw particular patterns were made, particular formation of the water atoms, and he did some research. Whenever you show anger to the water, whenever it is so bad, emotions you give to the water, if you abuse the water, you will not see those particular beautiful formation of the atoms of the water. So water has memory. It showed, it proved that water is having memory. And in this earth, like your body has 70% water, this earth's surface is also 70 to 75% covered by water. Like your water, like your blood, the pH is 7.4. Your blood's pH is also 7.5 or 7.4. So the acidic level, the base level of your blood and the water of the ocean is the same. that is also salty in nature. Your blood is also salty in nature. Whatever elements are there in the water of the ocean, you are having also the same nature of the blood. So when tides come, because of the moon, whenever full moon is there, the moon attracts the water of the earth, because nowadays, after so many satellites went upon the moon, they proved that moon is having so much water in it. Lakhs of gallons water are freeze in the frozen form in the water on the moon. So the water of the moon and the water of the earth are attracted to each other. They are talking to each other. They are having feelings, and that's why, because it's not only the gravitational force. Gravitational force doesn't change. If the gravitational force of Earth is 9.8 kilometer per second square, then that won't change. But why only the day of the full moon? The moon attracts the water of the earth. And not only the water of the earth, ocean's water, it also attracts the water of the human body. And as Masaru Emoto explained, that water is related to emotions, that moon attracts the emotion of the person with the water. And emotions are related to the manas. You don't have any word for the mana in English. Some people say mind is mana. Some people say emotions are mana. But in Darshan Shastra, we say Sukha Dukhatmakam Manaha. Whatever in your body is having feelings of sorrow, grief, or happiness, that is the manas. So manas is related to emotions, emotions are related to water, and water is attracted by moon. So there is a connection. Manas, your emotions, are related to water, and that water is affected by moon. So that's why moon is directly connected to your emotions. So there are many cases, like in University of Miami, a case study done by Dr. Arnold and Dr. Caroline R. Shadeen. 1900 murders that had occurred in Florida between the period of 1935 to 1970. That murders became more frequent with the increase of the moon's gravitational force. The criminals were more active. Their mind was very much active during the full moon time. So the moon is directly related to emotions of the people. In India also, in Patna, C.P. Thakur and Dilip Sharma did research. Reporting of crime to 3 police stations for the period from 1978 to 1982 in 3 different locations. They found that the incidence of crimes committed on full moon days are very much higher. The FIR written were very much higher during the full moon days. In Brinton, UK, research was done and a survey was also done that violent incidents are very higher on the full moon nights. Inspector's interview was there. He said that over 19 years of his police officer work, He said that it was necessary for us to increase the police people patrolling during the full moon days because the violent nature of the criminals increased very much. In Queen's University, Canada also, it was found that there were more patients with a diagnosis of personality disorder during the 24 hours of the full moon period. Also in 2013, Psychiatric Hospital of the University of Basel in Switzerland found that the researchers found that during the time of the full moon, the brain activity that was related to deep sleep dropped by 30%. Mind was more active during the full moon days. And that is written in medical astrology, that mental issues, mental problems, lunatic problems are related to moon itself. And now by the science we can prove this, that how emotions, how water, how your manas is related to the moon. And that moon is also related to menstruational cycles of the women. So in 27 days, moon completes its orbit. All 12 rashis. In one rashi, in one zodiacal sign, moon takes 2.25 days, 2.25 days. So in 27 days, it makes us a total round of the 12 zodiacal signs, the whole zodiac, 12 rashis. That's why the menstrual cycle of the women are also related to that moon cycle. So moon is totally related to the menstrual cycle of the woman. Dr. Arnold L. Levier, MD, in his book The Lunar Effect, he explains that moon affects almost every aspect of human life, including the menstrual cycle also. So if moon is affecting mental condition, that automatically is going to affect your whole life. So that's why the position of the moon when the child is born is very, very, very important. In 27 nakshatras, neutrino particles are coming from those stars, and those particles are passing through the moon, and they're coming upon the newborn child. So the water of 90% of the child will affect by the planetary position of that particular moon. Because 90% part is water, and water is related to moon. So that's why his name is also decided according to the position of the moon. In whatever nakshatra or rashi is moon situated at the time of birth, that is called the Janma Nakshatra and the Janma Rashi of the person, and the personality of that person is very much similar to the zodiacal sign of that time. Also in medical astrology, we used to say that sun is related to heart, to your bones, to your eyesight, your immunity system. And nowadays, researchers are saying, scientists are saying that vitamin D is the main role. vitamin D plays a main role in muscle function and your immune system, and that vitamin D is mainly produced by sunlight, in the morning sunlight. Only by vitamin D your your bones can absorb the calcium. If you are intaking calcium but you are not having vitamin D, then that calcium can't be absorbed by your bones. So in medical astrology, it is said that bones are related to sun. Your immune system is related to sun. Also, your eyes are related to sun. In University College London's Institute of Ophthalmology, they have done a research on the mouses. Vitamin D3 supplement was given to the elderly mice, and after 6 weeks, they have seen that their vision was improved, retinal inflammation level was reduced, and those eyes-related problems were reduced by vitamin D. And same research has been done by many researchers like Dr. Marshall, Pamela, Alexander Vannon, Japanese scientist Tomato, Clearing Research Society of America. They prove the sun's effect on the human body. In medical astrology, Mars is related to your strength, to your red blood cells. And now, when we know about the Mars now, these days, NASA have sent many rovers over Mars surface, Curiosity, Discovery, Opportunity. They found that iron is the important component on the Mars surface. When iron is reacting with the oxygen, it creates iron oxide. And because of that iron oxide, the surface of the Mars is red. Iron is the main component. And also in your body, iron is an important component of hemoglobin. And hemoglobin is the main substance in the red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to transport throughout your body. So in astrology also we say that blood is related to, red blood cells are related to Mars, your strength is related to Mars, your energy is related to Mars, and energy is purely related to oxygen. So that is also proved. And also astrology, Jyotirshastra, it is said that Mars is Bhumiputra. It's very much like to Earth. And now we know that the rotation of Earth is 24 hours and Mars rotation is 24 hours and 37 minutes. The tiltation of Earth axis is 23 and half degree, and also the tiltation of the Mars is 25 degree. So because of the tilt of 25 degree, Mars was also having 6 kind of ritus, seasons sometime. So that's why they are seen as siblings. NASA is also saying that the best possible planet to live after Earth is Mars only. So Mars is very much related to Earth, and how those ancestors of ours were knowing that this is Bhumiputra is very much related to Earth. And if you see the Mercury, it's a very, very, very tiny planet. When it passes through the sun's surface, it seems like a dot, a black dot on the sun. But when the messenger went near to the Mercury on 18th April 2011, it sent photos of the surface of the Mercury. Nobody have ever seen the surface of the Mercury before that. But when those photos came, it was seen that the surface of the moon and the surface of the Mercury are very much similar, like mother and daughter. And Mercury is little in the moon is bigger in the size and Mercury is little. So you can say who is mother and who is daughter. And that's why in Indian astrology it is said that the Mercury is the son of moon. So you can imagine how did they know? It's a very tiny planet, and how they were knowing that Mercury is very much similar to the moon. That's why they said that this is Shitanshujaha, Chandraputraha, Chandrajaha. Buddha is the son of Chandrama. In medical astrology, we say that this planet Jupiter is related to stomach, acids in stomach, and the childbirth. And when the spacecrafts Pioneer 11, Visor 1, Visor 2, and Cassini went near to the Jupiter, they saw that 98% of the Jupiter is hydrogen. And you know, acids gives hydrogen, and base char gives OH negative, hydroxides. So main component in your body is acid, and that yellow acid has main component hydrogen in it, and that hydrogen is very much into the Jupiter. So maybe there is a connection why Jupiter is looking yellow, and that acid in our body is also yellowish. Those are related, and that's why digestion of food, stomach related things are related to Jupiter. And also Indian astronomers, astrologers said that color of Saturn is Neela, blue. Neelanjana Samabhasam Raviputram Imagajam. You can't see with naked eye the color of Saturn, but when 14th December 2004, Cassini, a spacecraft, went near to the Saturn, that took photos of the Saturn. And then that time, first time in the mankind, it was proven that the surface of the sun is very much blue, and other colors are also there. And there is a part on the top of the Saturn, it's equivalent to 8 Earths, which always changes the number, always changes the color. It is also said in the astrology Siddhant Samhita Jyotish books that the color on the Saturn will be changing in time to time, and what effect it will cause. Andajaha Ravijo Yadishitraha Shudbhaikrit Yadipitamayukha. If color on the north poles of the Saturn is changing into the yellowish, then there will be Kshudbhay on the earth. And also nowadays, NASA is saying in the core of the Saturn, there is a dense metals like iron and nickel. And nowadays we used to tell people if the Saturn is malefic or not beneficial, you need to donate iron related things. And in astrology, it is said that Saturn and Jupiter are Vayu Tattva and Akasha Tattva, air and space. Those are not hard planets. Those are very much airy and spacious. How they were knowing that? And nowadays, we know that these two planets are not dense. You can't find the surface. There is only core and there are only gases over there. So you have known about little about the astrology. And now Ayurveda. Charak asks Dhanvantari, Kim Nam Shariram? And Dhanvantari says, Shariram Vyadi Mandiram. What is body? Dhanvantari answers, this body is the house of diseases. Disease will live in the body. Then what is disease? Kim Nam Roga? Then Dhanvantari says, Vikriti Vyadhi Roga Ityavidhiyate. Vikritir Nam Vyadhi Roga Ityavidhiyate. Vikriti. Negative changes are called Vyadhi or Roga, and there are three causes basically. Akushalata, Durbalata, Pida. If your senses are not capable of doing whatever work they are meant to do, that is Akushalata. Durbalata, they are weak. Or third is Pida, if there is a pain in that particular part. If that part is not working properly, it's very weak or having pain. These three vikritis are called Vyadhi Roga. And who is Niroga? Who is Swastha? Who is healthy? Prasanna Atma Indriya Manaha Swastha Ityabhidhiyate. Dhanvantari says, who is happy from the mind, from the senses, that person is Swastha. This is written in Charak Samhita. Then he asks, what is the reason of roga? What is the reason of disease? Then he says, first, Mithya Ahar Vihar. Eating things which are not good. Vihar, lifestyle. Wrong lifestyle, wrong food is the first reason. Second, Asatma Indriyartha Sanyoga. If your senses and their artha, things related to the senses, are not in the right combination, if your eyes are not seeing properly, if your nose is not smelling properly, that is Asatma Indriya Sanyoga. That is also a disease. And third is Pragya Paradha. If you know, by knowingly you are doing some unnecessary things like drinking so much wine, weed, or beer. You are eating so much non-veg, not necessary. The Pragya Paradha. By knowing you are doing some inappropriate things, inappropriate deeds. That is Pragya Paradha. And fourth is Kala Samprapti. Like in the month of June, if you are feeling so much cold, in the month of December you are feeling so much hot, if the nature is very much hot. So Hina Yoga or Ati Yoga, very much hotness, or Mithya Yoga. Mithya Yoga, these three Kala Samprapti can occur the Roga. But after that, Agnivesh asks Bhagwan Atreya, we see in this world, if people is not doing Mithya Ahar Vihar, their Asatmendriya Sanyoga, Prajnapradha he is not doing, Hal Samprapti he is very aware. In spite of that, if he is not doing any of these four things, even if he is falling ill, he is getting disease, then what is the reason? Then Bhagavan Atre answers, Daiva Vaigunyat, because of the Daiva. Then he asks, what is Daiva? Janma Janmantara Kritam Karma Tad Daivamiti Katyate. Whatever we have done in previous births, that is called Daiva. And that Janma Janmantaram Kritam Papam Vyadhi Rupena Madate. And whatever Papa Karma you have done in the previous births, that becomes the Vyadhi. And Avashyameva Bhaktavyam Kritam Karma Subhashubham. And you have to get the fruit, whatever you have done in previous births, that will become as Vyadhi. And that Vyadhi is divided into two parts. First is Sahaja and second is Agantuk. Sahaj is from the birth. If a person is blind from the birth, that is Sahaj. But Agantuk is after the birth, meanwhile in the life, he feels diseases are Agantuk, and that Agantuk also divided into two parts. Drishta Nimitta Janya, Adrishta Nimitta Janya. When you know the reason of the disease is Drishta Nimitta Janya, and when you don't know the reason is Adrishta Nimitta Janya. And that Adrishta Nimitta Janya is related to your previous birth karma. That is Karmaja Rogaha. Those diseases are coming because of the karma you have done in your previous births. Janma Janmantara Kritam Papam Vyadhi Rupena Badhate. So, when you need to cure the disease related to Adrishta Nimitta Janya Karmaja Roga, then you need to know astrology. By the time of birth, date of birth, and the place of birth, you will know the planetary position of the birth time. And that position will show you the karma he done in the Janma Janmantar previous births. And because of knowing that karma, you will find out what kind of disease he will get. After knowing that, there will be many methods to cure those. Mantra, Mani, Vrat, Upvas, Anushthan, Jap, Tap, Home. Along with the Aushadhi, with the medicine, you will need to do Mantra Jap, Vrata, Upvas, Anushthan, Tap, Home, Jap, Mani. Then that will be cured. So in this course, if you are learning how to know by looking at a person's horoscope, what disease will occur, when the disease will occur, and how to cure that disease. For knowing that, you have to learn first about the planets, 12 houses of the horoscope, about the nakshatras, about the zodiacal signs, rasis, and the dasha and antardasha basically. All the 12 houses are related to the particular part of the body. All the 12 rashis are related to the particular part of the body. All the planets are related to the particular diseases. In this course, we are learning very deep. After knowing this, what are the combinations of those 12 houses, 12 rasis, 9 planets, which creates the problem and what are the dashas and antardashas, which time period that disease will occur. And when you know the problem, when you know the main cause of that disease, because Adrishta Nimitta Janya disease, Karmaj Roga, will not be cured by only by just giving medicine. Sometimes it happens. You know the disease, you try to give the medicines, but it doesn't work. It was working for other people. Like somebody is having ill, is having fever. You give medicine to other people, that cures, but that person's fever is not going. It's curing for one day and second day again it occurs. Then you need to see the horoscope. Why this medicine is not working? They are Jyotish time, and that's why it is written in the Ayurveda text. Jyotirvedyo Nirantaraha. Person should be Jyotishi also and Vedya also. So those a Vedya should know Jyotish Shastra and Jyotish Shastri should know Ayurveda also. Then only those will be able to know the actual cause of the disease and those will be able to cure the person particularly. By using this Ayurveda along with the astrology, even getting a special child is also possible. Not only curing diseases, current times of India, a person, Tathagat Tulsi, is the youngest professor in IIT Bombay. His father explained that if my child was not just born, it was programmed to be genius from the beginning by using the Ayurveda and Jyotish Shastra. So that's why Rajasthan government and the Pravesh government from 2017 to 2018, there are few hospitals. Those are doing research. Those are having OPDs of astrology also with the medicines. And in our university, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Sanskrit University, we also had a UGC SAP program on medical astrology. We collected so many horoscopes of cancer patients, heart patients, and the combinations which are given in the astrology. Huge study was done, and those things which are explained in the Jyotish Shastra was exactly found on those patients, and the remedies were done. Mantras, chantings, Anushthan, Japa, Home was done, and the results were very beautiful. So there are few problems also in this field. We will not go to that. Thank you. We will conclude here and hope you had good time. You got some knowledge. There was little problem in English. Hope you will not mind because throughout I studied Sanskrit and Hindi medium, so I tried my best to explain in English about the medical astrology. Thank you everyone. Namaskar. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namo Namah.